All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Rough roads ahead. So Rove is now entering in the scene. I don't know. He's getting a little bit rough and tumble with the president. I guess he's frustrated because I imagine they've sent some messaging already to the administration and saying, "Hey, you're ruining what we got going on here." I don't think he just pop off like that. Well, it doesn't make any sense because what's going to happen is, like I said, it's going to shut down everything you're trying to do. Correct. And then you're going to be stuck. I'm like, I don't know how to act. My other hearing aids, I'm lucky to get 8 hours out of them, right? These things are like a full day. I don't have to worry about them. They're a lot less. I don't even notice them as much. Right. Great deal. I just, it's not the highest level hearing aid you could buy. Right. So although the hearing aid that it's actually patterned after, that uses that technology and manufacture and all that, is 2,800. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a $2,800 hearing aid. Right? I would say maybe 24. And you can get really more advanced ones for 24. It's not bad. It's pretty good, actually. I mean, it's a great one there. I mean, it is probably the best deal. It's weird because they say the other one is the best deal. The one that you buy from the Jabra manufacturer, which isn't as good a deal as the one from Costco. So I don't know. And apparently, they don't turn on the tinnitus feature. So you have to go, if you want it, you have to go to some after person and pay $100 or whatever. Kind of nice weather. It's a little warm. I prefer to walk in the woods, but I don't know if I'm ready to do that just yet. Maybe another week or two. It's not bad to get the sun either. I actually haven't eaten anything. I need to eat something probably here shortly. Like I say, you're creating case law that's detrimental to immigration. And that's, that has a lot of reverberations over time. Oh, okay, my microphone's working. And then there's the other stuff that you're doing. as far as employment, and that's not going to help either. But once you go on, once the case law goes one direction and it involves you directly, especially, it's just you're not going to have the benefit of the doubt. Nobody's going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't think I really don't think it's, like I said, Virginia's probably going to go Democratic Party. I mean, a lot of people there that are government employees and former government employees and families of government employees. I guess these people never figured that, you would take their job. And again, you took their job and then called them a bunch of names and say you deserved it. It's just like random people that you canceled their job. And that, in turn, canceled some home purchases, business endeavors, all sorts of things. And what's going to happen is all that money you got when you ran for office, it's going to dry up. Now you have it. Now you didn't just make, your budget wasn't just what Elon, paid. That's for sure. At this point, Elon didn't get too much of a return for it. Right? I guess he did. He got rid of all those cases that were going against him. Now, something you have to be careful. Don't be just, deleting, expunging information, for your cronies or even for yourselves. Just don't do that. Because there is a statute of limitations that goes past the next presidential election. And if it gets to the Senate and the House, they might do it. Right? I mean, you can go to the court, get it sealed, do whatever you want, but you can't, I don't think you're allowed to delete it. It's again, the archivist and all that stuff. Right? Again, investigations have a regulation on how long they keep them and whatnot. Thanks, Larry. So all I'm saying is, just make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. The same thing I said when you got elected. Right. Was he mellow today? Something may have happened. No, I didn't drink any coffee today. Taking those muscle relaxers, so trying to dial that back a little bit. And their psychoanalysis or the psychological analysis is psychobabble. But this has, a certain level of technology, but it's still, there's really no, I mean, some of it's automatic, but it's not as automatic as some of the others. Like in the Starkey Edge, you put the edge on, and then it does a whole bunch of stuff, right? It starts, hyperspeed computing. No, I have no idea why you would need 50-something hours. because it eats up a little bit of the battery. But yeah, most people don't need more than 20 hours. Right? You should have another pair. Like buy a cheap pair. If you need backup, buy a cheap pair. Or like for me, the VA might buy me a pair. I definitely need two pair. Right, two good pairs actually. Right. Well, the thing is also you might have to send your hearing aid in. So an update on, I told you there was a UPS store close by I didn't use, and all of a sudden I see it and I see them, and they just seem more like everyday people instead of the cronies. Right. Well, last night I wanted to send a package back to Amazon because I've tried with their customer service. It's not going to put myself through that anymore. Well, somebody's sitting in China, and they just go round and round, really. They just go round and round. Right. Actually. But they're not really listening to my responses. So eventually they get somewhere, and they're like, well, maybe this, maybe that. Because when I started, I told them, look, it worked. And it worked for a while, and then the last thing they say, well, maybe it's not compatible with your phone. And I'm like, no, it's compatible with my phone. I mean, you may be in a territory that you're not usually in where somebody from the government hacked it or somewhere other place. Right. The U.S. government or their cronies hacked it. Maybe that's why it's not working, but actually, but no, it is compatible with my phone. Thank you, sir. The system's coming back on a little bit, and it's starting because cronies are losing power, I guess, and it's starting to like judge them. It's pretty funny. Right. It even said, I was supposed to have an increase in money, and then this wouldn't have happened to me so easily. And again, they're the ones that blocked it. To make the choice I need to make to be well, the wrong choice doesn't make it a choice. Right? What you all did caused it to be not a choice. Thank you, Larry. So again, obviously, you all spent millions and millions of dollars doing this. No, the people should have took you out. The people that you're protecting should have. Right. They hacked it. Right. They're just weirdos, man. They hate intelligent people. And I get Trump like that, then Trump doesn't have anybody idiots around him. Right. No, Pam Bondi, I don't remember her making bad case law or causing bad case law in Florida. Right. Thanks, Larry. Of course, a lot of them are narcotics distributors, so what do you expect? Right. Or friends in narcotics distributors. Well, Mexico has rendered a response and said no, thank you. Right. At that point, the government of Mexico was suspect in being somehow related to narcotics distribution. Whether they simply adore the big money it brings, or directly related, is neither here nor there. Well, we were required, not required, but required to speak with Mexico about the problem and come up. Yeah, here's an example. In the immigration thing, in the employment thing, the firing of employees and that kind of thing, you're not moving the same as you are in Mexico. In Mexico, you're moving correctly, slow and methodical. Right. Because now, if you do something militarily, thank you, Larry. You've tried to do something different. Correct. I think you just panicked on the immigration thing because you're trying to beat Biden's deportation numbers. You can't because they're not real. What you have to do is look at the end result. Number coming in, number deported. Like I said, Biden may have been weak and he's supporting 1,000, where you're only letting in, let's say, 1,000 a week. And you could even deport 500 and still be ahead of it. All right. Thank you, Larry. So that's just an example, and that's what you have to calculate. Because he may not have been getting ahead of it. You might be getting ahead of it. Thank you, Larry, for all you've done. Now, what happened in Amarillo is they focused me on my lumbar spine, and there was a whole bunch of other stuff going on, right? And they never bothered to look at that. And I knew I was just trying to get that relief. But at a certain point, I couldn't get anywhere. I was hit pretty hard when I went to Colorado. I was hit pretty hard in Texas and Oklahoma, but I was hit real hard in Colorado. Right. It's just neurology. That's all it is. I mean, you all need to stay away. You're triggering neurological disabilities to try to cause psychological disabilities. I mean, you go to hell with you. It's just the bottom line. There's no way out for people like you. And again, when I use the term people, I'm being very nice. You're devils with you. You're this person. You're all that people. You've been that for decades. Probably all your life. Probably cast spells on your fellow elementary school children. So at a certain point, the world can't fault you for trying to stop Mexico. It's a global issue. You probably could try to form a coalition. That would also help if you could form a coalition. Thank you, Larry. Does anybody else want to help you with this? Again, you got what they call the Five Eyes. Or do any of the Five Eyes want to help you? I think we're One Eye now. I don't think the Five Eyes work anymore. 100%. I think some of them are the ones that are angry at us. My eyes are just watering horribly. So what you're needing to do is to take your case to the world stage. Again, the isolationist mentality really doesn't work. You might get some takers to help you stop the cartels, to provide additional coverage, intelligence coverage, or maybe even help destroy the labs. So again, that is working because you're working that slow and methodical. You've asked them, can we help you with this? And they're saying their sovereignty, is not up for discussion, but it's really not a sovereignty issue. Again, it's our sovereignty issue. It's Australia's sovereignty issue. It's whoever gets the narcotics imported or smuggled into their country. It's their sovereignty issue. Right? There are Mexicans that are violating the sovereignty of the United States by bringing narcotics in. The government seems capable, at a minimum, incapable of stopping them. Correct. It is not allowable. It isn't like, oh, you're trying. No. Thank you, Mary. So again, is a little play on words there to make us think it was Mexico's sovereignty that was in question. It's our sovereignty. Thank you, Larry. So again, probably the next stage is to start responding to their response, but doing it on the world stage. You could even file a grievance in the world court. And the hope is that that they would do something. No narcotics smugglers, no problem. Right. Well, I guarantee. I mean, they fought some heavy cartel battles, but I guarantee if you were as accurate as we were in Afghanistan, again, that's a whole different mechanic there. If you were as accurate as you were taking out people in Afghanistan and Iraq with drone heads, I'm not sure if they feel as comfortable doing it. Again, at a certain point, a lot of them will be gone. So again, even in the last, DEA was working with narcotics distributors, giving them options. Obviously, El Chapo's wife was given a couple deals, and she can live her life, in relative comfort. Right, for the rest of her life. 100%. That's probably something we still want to do. We never want to close the door on that kind of thing. Well, it's kind of warm out here, but I got to spend some time out here and get acclimatized. Everybody else is like, it's too warm, I'm not going. You got to acclimatize now, or it's going to be really warm. But I guess this rain's coming again. So what do you think, Larry? About what? Something's asking me something. I can't hear the question. Oh, they're trying to put me into the other bullshit. It's not just she. There are face women they've used, right? But it's a bunch of people. Now move away. What you do is you want to continue on with Mexico. I would speed it up a little bit. I would make some direct suggestions that the world needs to create a coalition at an intelligence level at a minimum to stop this narcotic from moving across the globe. Now, the problem is you don't know who's on the take, even in your own camp, or even in the Overland Park PD or Olathe PD, Santa Fe PD, Naples PD. They just hacked the app, closed. Make sure. No, they're not trying to send me messages. It's bullshit. Because then the messages will never stop. So again, it's a psyop, psychological torture. Oh, if you wouldn't talk about that, nobody would bother you. And then there's the next thing you're not supposed to talk about. The next thing you're not supposed to talk about. The next thing you're not supposed to do. It's all bullshit. They're murderers, their father's the devil, and they kill people. And that's what they do for a living. And they're killing people that are good people. And they're taking money from trash and shit drug dealers and trash and shit sex traffickers. That's who they are. The rest is an illusion. Because they'll say, oh, look what he said. You can tell we're trying to guide him to the right conversation. Right. Just a cover story they're trying to create out of bullshit. I'm sorry. So you need to begin that movement. The next movement, increase it. Well, if they're not going to negotiate, then forget it. There's no reason to sit here for 4 years. Right. Thanks, Larry. Hang on a second. No, it's okay.
611 building is?
I would think it's that way, but yeah, back towards the front. They probably count from the front back to here. What I'm thinking. I can't see what that one is. But, all right. Yeah, I would say most likely it's up that way. That's so they're hacking my stuff again. I'm gonna have to get to the to another app, I guess, or maybe wait a minute, take a look at something. We'll see if we can shake him with a VPN. I guess it's probably my package. It's like God brought me over here because Amazon's here. I grabbed a few things. I'm trying to figure if I want a new Ring camera battery. It's draining pretty fast, and now it's stopped draining, but it didn't. It doesn't charge back up, which is weird. Right. So that's good. Thank you. Have a great day, sir. Thanks, Larry. Well, what I'm trying, they're trying to steer me away from Amazon, and the more stuff I return from Amazon, because I'm buying, the more you buy, the more you might need to return. Right. So I'm kind of trying to buy like some of the everyday items from Amazon that I normally wouldn't buy, just to give them a boost of thanks for providing that return service. Again, hearing aids, they all have, actually the return window on Amazon is smaller than the return window from the manufacturers. They actually give you quite a few months to return them. I agree, sir. Oh God, my eye is just constantly watering. I don't know. I'm gonna have to call and see if there's, where the infections are starting from, what particular drops, right? If there's a way to be sure that, like, is it a foreign source or what is it, right? But I haven't needed eye drops in years, since I was in Colorado. So maybe it's something that's could be something that's like both states, Thank you, Larry, for everything you're doing. Thanks, sir. So again, you don't have to hammer Mexico, but you want to again present yourself as a mensch, not a Meshuggah. Try to garner some global support. You might actually, what I'm seeing, you might actually get some support from Russia, which is kind of, you got to be careful. You don't want to, be part of some crime. But thank you, Larry. Yeah, you should see. I mean, because it's not an issue that's only in the United States. Now, I don't know how Australia is going to react. I don't know how Canada is going to react because their governments are. Again, that's the problem with this terrorist thing and everything you started. Because we could have had Canada, and they might still do it under the right circumstance. We could have Canada and Australia with us because they have, Australia's, always getting hit with narcotics and things, right? And they got a pretty tough program there for narcotics, detection and interdiction, right? And it's in Malaysia, and it's just everywhere, man. Right. So, you find the countries that take a hard stance against narcotics, they might start helping you with some of the other stuff. Correct. Well, we got to get rid of it the best we can. El Salvador says maybe we got to get rid of Mexico. We'll call it El Salvador. Which we don't want to do. Again, we want to restore Mexico. We want to liberate Mexico. Maybe not completely the way El Salvador did it, because I don't think Mexico would agree to that. But maybe the way Ecuador is doing it. I meant to look in on Ecuador. I haven't had time. Thank you, Larry. No. I've been around a lot of different situations in my life, and part of it was young girls and young boys ODing. I mean, not necessarily in my life, but I was in Santa Fe. I was a member of their community, whether they agreed to it or not. And there was a 14-year-old that OD'd, and everybody was up in arms. But again, I don't think anybody was really wanting to pay the price for what was needed. Right. Thank you, Larry. So we still have that thing that's unsettled, those debts that are unsettled. Thank you, Larry. Right. Well, it just can't go on the way it is, and Mexico's not making any representations of any eradication. It's just kind of like spinning wheels a bit. Right. Now, again, collateral damage. You can't allow collateral damage. If it happens, okay, but we can't be reckless. Right? Because then you lose the people. Because cartels kill us, you kill us, and there's nobody different between either one at that point in people's minds. Correct, Larry. I say it's hard to walk, and then I was taking coffee, drinking coffee, so I was walking with coffee. I don't know. The coffee may have actually made my allergies worse. I don't know. If I get my weight down if I can, and then I could maybe take some, take like Sudafed or something. I really don't want to take it right now because my weight's up a little bit. Yeah, these hearing aids are actually much better, so that's pretty cool. So it's like, well, the thing is, you have to realize for years I wasn't hearing the right way. So it's like some of it, saying, "Oh, you're not hearing naturally." Well, I wasn't hearing naturally. I think I'm hearing more naturally now. But I still had hearing. It wasn't it really went down quick. I mean, who knows what they use to cause that series of illnesses. I mean, right, cause these injuries. Thanks, Larry. Well, I tightened up the right side of my head, and and again, the stress will do that too, and it caused sinus dysfunction and other things. Again, they're in the middle of it because they're trying to get me to stop going to the one woman. And they succeeded in getting me to stop going to this other woman that no longer works at the one massage place. Right. And again, it's designed so you never get anywhere in life. And you can't even figure that you're not getting anywhere in life until like they drop the boom. Right. I mean, it's not law enforcement. It's just so demonic and so criminal. It's not even funny. Right. All it involves law enforcement people. Yeah, they're just self-dealers. They're all self-dealers, man. People in the government were self-dealing. That's what it was about. And they could offer me up or something. They're just sickos, man. They're sickos their whole life. Running sexualization programs, disabling programs, murdering programs. They're sick. All right, where am I? Yeah, that sounds pretty strong. I have to go into the woods at a certain point. Right. No, my sleep is a little better. I'm not sure what that's from. So my sleep is kind of returning a little bit. That may be from some of those massages. I don't know. Thank you, Larry. Whew. Yeah, I can't figure it out. I've had to turn my air conditioner up to get the same temperature in here. So I think maybe the thermostat's kind of on the fritz. Right. Actually. So it is what it is. Boy, it's getting warm out there. What is the temperature? It's going to cool off in a couple of days. It's going to rain again. Hey, you want to know what I think? I'll tell you what I think all day long, right? Tell the whole world what I think. Guess I'm not going everything they want, right? I'm attacking the Trump administration. So then they can go to the Trump administration and say, pay us money to take this guy out. That's our scam. I told you that was a scam. I don't know if you picked up on the messaging I sent over the years. Right. Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Larry. So you got double agents all around you. And one of their biggest efforts is to discredit me and my information. Well, if you don't do it the way I say it, it's not going to work. Not because I'm cursing you, because it just doesn't work. Right. So what I told you initially was that you needed the immigration judges. Right. I could probably repost it online. Right. And you also need a Zoom, you need Zoom immigration courtrooms. And you need those numbers available to every, whatever, somebody, not every task force member. Out of here. Get rid of them spiritually. You need leadership in the task forces to have that link, right? Or even have the app that provides the link, and then they send somebody the link. If you deputize state and local police, they can appear before. I'm almost positive that they can appear before an immigration court, which means you're going to have your people, your attorneys, and your ICE people with them. But let's say you deputize people in Florida, they can just go in front of the immigration court on the Zoom courtroom. Yeah, it makes more sense anyway than what you're doing. There's no reason that you don't have Zoom courtrooms, right? At least for the initials, right? Whatever they are in the immigration thing. I mean, I think they can. You can actually go through the whole proceedings in a Zoom courtroom. So then your logistics is a lot easier. Well, because you may have immigration judges in Sheboygan available, but you need an immigration judge in LA available, and there's none available. So you go to the Zoom link, and the judge in Sheboygan says that they're available. Then the judge in Sheboygan will sit on the case in LA. It's genius. Right. Thanks, Larry. So every immigration judge needs to be wired with the capability of a Zoom courtroom with the system that I'm telling you to create. And then you'll have better use of the existing immigration judges. But what you also want is Zoom courtroom specific judges, where they're wherever they're sitting. And again, they could be like an administrative judge that's doing it. It could be if you can get the what are they called? You can get the judge advocates if there's a system that allows them. So what you need to do is you actually need to go talk to the chief immigration judge, and I believe he's a conservative. Right? But again, he has a responsibility to maintain a certain level of correctness, I guess, and not political, but legal correctness within those courtrooms. Well, and again, you don't want you throw in a bunch of people that just deport everybody, and then it gets in front of the Supreme Court. They're going to poo-poo that system. Who's that up there? Making all that noise. Thank you. They're bullshit where I'm just mentally ill is bullshit. They're running a prisoner of war camp type program and killing people and torturing them and making them disabled, causing psychological issues. They just need to be gone. I mean, gone. I'd check them out. I'd check them out fast. I'm not going to do it. You took me out of government. There's no way for me to make any such way. Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Larry. That sounds good. Sounds great, actually. It's one of the best. That was actually them saying it sounds good. It's actually great. See, they actually want the administration. There's conservatives who want the administration locked down because they're all corrupt. They're part of criminal enterprises. So if you focus on something that's not working, then you can't focus on them. I don't think you don't need all those people doing immigration deportations. Now, this is the caveat. You have to go in with honest people and figure out, did the DEA actually reduce narcotics distribution by doing that? Or not just DEA. The DEA has to look at it and say, hey, this immigrant thing we're doing where we're getting rid of these people and detaining them reduced narcotics distribution. But if it didn't, then you need to release some of those people back to narcotics enforcement. Right. Thank you, Larry. Thank you. Oh, there's no telling. Like I said, the neighborhoods you're going into, may not be the main supply. Correct. We may be taking out some street dealers, but the big cheese may actually found a way around all of you. Right. So, like I recently said, that the cartels, they seem to have chilled out. So there may have been a deal struck. So I'm not sure what, so I guess there's a problem with that because of the way they're acting. So you have Mexico that made an agreement and they said, hey, we'll increase patrols. Is it actually doing anything? Right. So you have to do an assessment phase now. Well, I mean, if they say they're going to send their people there, but then they, pull the punches, right? And I spoke about the border liaison system, right? Agree. So we need to find out what's going on. Thank you, Larry. So there's a lot to do, right? But I think one of the other things we need to do is, where are we on overdose deaths? Where are we on that? Again, a lot of times things go into the background and we don't have information. Perceiving projections, right? Spiritual and physical. Thank you, Larry. Thanks, Larry. That should never attack me here. It doesn't make any sense. The last one was a crook. Really, just live their life murdering people and putting people in to be murdered. See, they betrayed their bosses. So their bosses have to pay them to murder somebody that wasn't doing or saying anything. That's how they get their bosses to finance the murder contracts. That's a lot of people that you're picking up on narcotics interdiction are simply addicts. Who's giving it to them? So, like the person that's hacking my app could actually be Russians or Mexican cartels. Right. Right. Excellent. And what they did is they blocked me from wiring into the community. And that's what's doing this. So that's what made me sad. Well, because I don't have my own system. I'd love to get my health back because I really love this weather. So, like, I told my neighbor when I got a little loud, I'm like, my one neighbor's a good neighbor. I said, I apologize if I got a little loud. They're like, no, don't worry. And so I got my hearing aid, new hearing aids in. And I'm like, oh, no wonder. I can hear their music up there. You couldn't hear me anyway. That's a beautiful dog. How you doing?
Oh, thanks. Good. How are you?
Great, thank you. I love those funny cattle dogs. I don't know if I'm an ACG person or C, I guess. Now, here's an example. I'm an ACG person. They put me into the license plate thing, right? She's an ACD person. They may actually be attacking her. Okay? Right. I'm sorry. For all I know, she works for some insurance company or the federal government, and she's online and she, does it from home or something. Right. Right. So most of your arrests again, there's some big arrests, but most of your arrests in this area of the Midwest appears to be like they have a lot of narcotic, but they're addicts. Right? Addicts are not brainstorming the system. Right. Right. The DEA says they know who it is. Like, don't attack me, believe me. Get investigated. But they got to get somebody to prosecute you. That's the difficulty. Thanks, Larry. It's so whack how I got my phone on here now. I just like a bar thing, right? It's got like foam from the. Oh, I don't see anybody today. Where is everybody? Inside? I guess it's hot, right? I don't see the maintenance people. Wait, is it a holiday today? Did I miss something? What's today? So I think there's double crossers in the administration, and I think they're trying to get you to look at certain things and then away from other things that they're paid to make you look away from. Right? And they only got to tie you up for 4 years. And the way it's going, it might only be 2 years because hey, look, that woman look at Marge. Marge is trying to say something. That's what Marge's trying to say. Well, narcotics makes it. Iran doesn't make it. It makes more sense to eradicate the narcotics than it does Iran. Right. Right. I mean, Iran's got so many enemies. Let them finance it. Regional enemies. 100%. Or make peace. Right. So Marge is right, kind of. We need to focus more on the cartels, the drug distribution in our nation. Somebody's pulling punches. Right. Thanks, Larry. Yeah, I almost didn't go get the massage yesterday. I almost said, like, no. It's so weird how they're in the middle of my allergy medicine. They're trying to tell me they already took my second one for the day. I definitely need more massage because they didn't hit my body okay. This, but I want to spread the massages out, right, and just have them hit that area. Right. Again, if they never interrupted my massage, this never would happen. Okay, they're interrupting. My legs are doing better, my lower back and my left side, but my right side is way too tight still, right upper into the neck and the cranial tissues. So it is what it is. Well, it's kind of a nice day. It's just a little strong on the sun. power going now. I'll just keep my body moving, that's all. Look at the temperature here inside and see what I got going on. Yeah. Just keeps getting warmer. There's no way that this thermostat is operating the same as it was last year. I have to adjust it. Well, I used to put it on like 68, right, to 70, and it would be 68 to 70 gone. Now I got it on like 66 and it's 70. It's not that hot out there. Actually, I mean, that would be a dirty trick. Could be Satan's stance, but that would be a dirty trick, right? That spies would use. Well, you don't have to worry. I mean, you're trying to get me to leave. I'm definitely not going to be in this apartment after September unless something miraculous occurs. Right? I don't know why you're trying to push me out early. I guess because you get your bonus if I take a $10,000 loan to try to get out of here, right? Or a $5,000. Come on, a few months. Right? Okay, Larry. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll figure it out when I get to it, right? For all I know, I mean, I'm going in for my hearing stuff tomorrow. For all I know, they turn around and say, here's your disability. Right? Should have been getting it all along. I'm sorry. You know, there's a lot of other claims I got to go through. I got to contact my lawyer because they could be blocking the email. Right? Call him and get him to say, you know, we got to talk about a certain form I need. Definitely need that form. Definitely. It's for medical records and stuff. There's no reason for me to start writing the narratives before we will test all the medical records. Now, my doctor here has a ton of medical records. Right? For some reason, it just kept populating in the app. At a certain point, all the stuff from Texas started showing up. I don't know if it's like a similar app that I used in Texas. I don't know. I mean, it's already in places. That's sad. I mean, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, if they would have blocked them a little bit, I could have got somewhere and got, you know, the information. It was weird. I mean, because it's witchy. Because the information I'm like receiving from doctors was kind of incorrect. Oh my God. And I know certain people are involved by the curses and wills that are coming at me. Right. Trying to make me bedbound again, just lay in bed and do nothing. Right. So the same people that were there in Oklahoma. Kiss the mezuzah. I'm cooling it off in the apartment a little bit because I don't want the dust mites to procreate, like the vermin that come and attack my life. Nice day though, just a little sunny. Right. It's nice in the shade, really nice. So at some point, I'm going to have to go go walking down the trail. Yeah, the right side of my head is definitely still too tight. I'm gonna have to make some appointments and stuff. So I think I'll probably do that. I'll make a bunch of appointments, right, for massage and stuff at a certain point. Just the sun's just a tad too strong. So if the wind was a little higher, actually that'd probably be annoying. Strong sun and cold wind, you know. But the sun's just a little bit too strong. I just wasn't well enough to get out of here last time. The lease stuff, and I think they wanted me to stay. It's just like a scam, but they're trying to push me out. Right? They crash your life while trying to push you out. Right? They may actually did that. They may have actually introduced something that made me sick, just so I couldn't get out of here. Thanks, Larry. All right, I'm healing the bus there. So that means we got to focus back on that. Thanks, Larry. So there should be a program to help these areas that we're having trouble keeping away from child sex crime. Right? Like schools, churches, places of religion, even law enforcement at this point. Right? So again, you need to develop a program that tells people to seek counseling. Take yourself out, get away from the children if something's happening. Something that I don't think has ever been done. Because essentially they go, well, we're all part of the team, and right. No, that's all you do is you bring it up and say, look, people have failed. I mean, obviously, if we're arresting teachers, if we're arresting cops, if we're arresting clergy and other members of religious societies, that something's wrong, and we need to fix it. And these people didn't remove themselves from the proximity of children when they needed to, or at least go get help prior to that. And again, I don't know what they're going to say. I mean, most people won't go in and say something about that, right? So, you got to figure something out. It's just happening way too much. Thank you, Larry. I'm trying to convince me something. This fog absolutely falls. So my brother goes like, I'll call you tomorrow. I called him like a few times, and he's visiting friends in Florida or something. He's like, I'll call you tomorrow. And I call him the next day. He's like, oh, I'm with friends. I'm like, what? So I don't get it. Right. It's nice over here. It's kind of shady. Thank you. Thank you, Larry. Get off it a little bit so I can just walk. Right. Yeah, I got pretty bad the other day. I drank like 3 cans of, iced coffee isn't like tremendous amount of caffeine, but it's just not where I want to be. One or two if I have to. So hopefully this is a good enough exercise for the morning. I'm sorry. To that massage yesterday instead of scheduling with the other person. So they didn't succeed. It's just, I had that massage and it just really got screwed up. Actually, it succeeded pretty good. Right. No, because they upcharged me and everything. And it's still not working. For some reason, it makes no freaking sense. I have it at 60 degrees and it's 70 in here. My God. I guess this is on. Let me turn this off. I don't think it's making a big difference. It's only its own low. This doesn't make any sense. How is it? Let me check the other thing. What I got going on. It doesn't make any sense. Why is it hot in here? This part of the house is hotter than the other side of the house. The door's wide open. Make any sense? Actually, I want to bring the other thermometer out. Staying outside is 81 degrees and 35% humidity. So again, it's pointing at certain crimes being up, and we're supposed to heal them when they're up. And sex crimes against children. My thing here. All right. So we heal those. Whatever prayers you use. I have to check in with my friend and his son because he's trying to get his bowel broken up after using a colostomy bag for an extended period of time. So I put quite a few prayers out there on prayer walls.